July 20th, 1929 was a celebration day of the return of Old Peppersass. With 500 guests and including governors from 6 other states, thousands of spectators were there. The Whitefield Band was there. Photographers and reporters. At least 4 newsreel companies were there with cameras on hand. George Hanauer, former president of the Boston and Maine Railroad, christened Old Peppersass by sticking it with a bottle of water. Engineer Jack Frost and fireman William Newsham were dressed in bright red shirts and tall beaver hats. 6 cog trains were loaded up, and there was a scramble for space on the small trailer car in the rear of the last train. At the first water tank, an official signaled for the Peppersass return, but Frost continued on upward to the halfway house. There they stopped for more wood, which was quickly loaded onto the tender. Once again, Peppersass continued upward instead of starting back down. Another quarter of a mile, perhaps, when we crossed Jacob's Ladder, with Peppersass following closely in the distance. The procession continued upward to the Gulf tank, where Peppersass stopped to take on water. More pictures were taken of the process, and I climbed out with all my gear. When my train moved off toward the summit, only a short distance now, I did not rejoin it, but stayed watching the old locomotive. Frost now got his orders to take Peppersass back down, but still he waited, looking longingly upward, as though his goal was fading away. As I watched, Peppersass took on 2 more passengers, the engineer's son Caleb, a boy of 16, and Daniel P. Rossiter, who was official photographer for the railroad. Peppersass started steaming down, and only going 2 miles an hour, I ran with my equipment. Stopping twice, as though to give up, Frost stopped and reached down with a helping hand. Then with a clank and a roar of steam, we were off down the mountain. We reached the top of Long Trestle. I could hear the engineer's words as he yelled to Newsham, "How do you like the looks of that?" I was not alone in feeling apprehensive about this ride. There was a large sledgehammer crack. We seemed to bounce a bit and lurch to one side. As we picked up speed, there was an ominous grinding sound. Frost grabbed the old handbrake wheel, which spun loosely and seemed to have little effect. I could see his mouth opening, shouting, "Jump! Jump!" I grabbed a bag of film and lens equipment, carefully threw it out the doorway. I should have gone with it. Caleb was the only one with presence of mind to jump this soon, and got away with only a torn shirt from the bushes that broke his fall. The brake must have been holding partially. We were not going more than 15 miles an hour, but it was unpleasant. The engine rocked violently, and pieces of flaming wood and embers flew from the firebox. Rossiter still sat with his camera. We were going too fast now. Then something else gave way, and we started to roll freely, a sudden drop like a high-speed elevator. Any brake action was gone. I was sure the old engine would tip over. Trees and rocks whizzed by. Engineer and fireman hung on in the doorways on opposite sides looking for a soft spot. As I jumped from the woodpile, I caught one toe on the Peppersass sign. So it was head first, a dive instead of a jump, with no sensation of falling, only of speed. Sky, then a huge rock looming up for a landing. I tried to throw my head back to protect my face. Stars I saw plenty, but I remember better seeing the engine like a comet with a long tail of steam. I knew I had a broken jaw, because I could hear the bones rattle. I tried to find the camera, but something was wrong with my knee. I was very close to Jacob's Ladder, and sometime later remember seeing the engine's smokestack under it. It was here that Rossiter had dropped off or was thrown, after hanging on to the tender with his camera. He was killed instantly. The engineer and fireman suffered broken bones, but recovered.